Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. I hope all is well. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. Now you may be wondering what Mount Seir is, or who Mount Seir is. And rest assured, the Most High, through His Word, is going to define who He's speaking to when He addresses Mount Seir. The last video I said that I failed to hit the record button on last Thursday. And that the verse of the day that day come from James chapter 4. And it was the last verse, verse 17. To him, then, who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. Now, I've heard so many arguments where this verse was used by people who like to say, we are no longer under the law. If that's you, you need to listen to what the word of the Most High, Abba Yahuwah, our wonderful Creator, has to say to you. Not Dawdy, Ben Yahuwah, but Abba Yahuwah. Most people, when they read that, they say, see, if you think you're doing wrong and you do that, then that's a sin to you. This is why we need context. We're getting Ezekiel 35, but let's get James chapter 4. Let's take it from the top. Where do fightings, verse 1, where do fightings and strivings come from among you? It's a serious question. Do they not come from your pleasures that battle in your members? You desire and do not have. Always wanting more. The world that we know today, it operates, you are judged by the clothes you wear, the vehicle you drive, the house you own or don't own. And to most people, I think all of those people who like to argue and say that we are no longer under the law, they judge men by their material possessions, by the thickness of their pocketbook. But they're never satisfied. You murder and are jealous and are unable to obtain. You strive and fight and you do not possess because you do not ask. Right now, if that's you, you're saying, yeah, see, and you're thinking, so hold that thought. Let's see what the word of the Most High says. You ask and do not receive. Why? Because you ask evilly in order to spend it on your pleasures. You're asking for money. Most of those people, if not all the people that I'm thinking of, that I have in mind, and there's quite a few, that like to say we're no longer under the law, and they justify things. The majority, if not all of them people, they fast. If you hear that, I hear them say, I'm on a Daniel fast today. Nothing but water. Why? You don't even have to ask them why. They're going to tell you. They'll tell you why. They'll say, because my rent's due. Or we're trying to get this house. We need this, we need that. And they don't need any of it. But they think they do. That's why they don't receive. And Abba don't give you money, stacked money, so you can go out and be more boastful and proud. That he wouldn't be given. You wouldn't be receiving anything except for more a deeper hole. Adulterers and adulteresses. Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High? Friendship with the world. Whoever therefore intends to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of the Most High. There you go. If you celebrate Christmas, that's the world. You are an enemy to the Most High. Easter, holidays, all this nonsense, any of it. Money. If you ask him for money like that, you aren't his friend, you're his enemy. Or do you think that the scripture speaks to no purpose? Yeah, you do. You like to tell us that that's the Old Testament. Since the Messiah came and died for us, we're not under the law anymore, right? Does the Spirit which dwells in us intensely crave unto envy? But he gives greater favor. Because of this, he says, the Most High resists the proud, but gives favor to the humble. So then subject yourselves to the Most High. Subject yourselves to him. He says, don't do Christmas. You got to stop. You have to subject yourself to him, or bye-bye. You can't have it both ways. You don't get to call the shots. You ain't no shot caller. Because you think you are, that's the reason. It's bye-bye for you. Resist the devil, and he shall flee from you. The devil, he's the one that created Christmas, Saturnalia, and Easter, Ishtar. That everything about it represents child sacrifice and worse and beyond. Yes, it does. You can lie all you want. It doesn't matter. You're a friend with it. It doesn't matter if you don't do it for those reasons. Yeah, you're a sweet little Christian and you have Easter, like that's coming up. You're going to celebrate it. You'll go out and put the eggs in the yard, and there's nothing in your mind that has anything to do with baby sacrifice. I get that. I do. But that holiday you're partaking in, that's where it came from. So you're a friend with it. You might not do it the traditional way, but you're following tradition. You ain't resisting. That's why the devil's not fleeing from you. Draw near to the Most High, and he shall draw near to you. Cleanse hands, sinners, sin, transgression of the law, and cleanse the hearts, you double-minded. They claim to be for the Most High. They'll tell you that, but they don't want to speak his name. They think they can call him whatever they want. They don't want to partake in his prescribed feast that he tells every one of his children. If you want to be his children, you have to attend, you have to partake, and that you must not have anything to do with these pagan child sacrificing holidays. You're double-minded. And you, like I just said, you don't call the shots. Lament and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to dejection, like mine, like it had for me, like it done, like my joy that I used to get every Christmas. Once I seen how horrendous it was, and I started to come out of it, it went from joy to mourning real quick. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Master, and he shall lift you up. Not with money, not with boasting, but with actual gifts of blessing, peace, joy, love, kindness, gentleness, humility. Brothers, do not speak against one another. He that speaks against a brother and judges his brother speaks against Torah and judges Torah. It sounds like you don't care about Torah. You think it's done away with. Even though the one who you follow now said it's not done. Don't think I come to do away with it. That was his words. He said, no, until the earth and the heaven pass away, not one eye, not one jot or tittle will ever go away, as long as those two things are still here. And if you judge Torah, you are not a doer of Torah, but a judge. That means you're spitting your own words and just flying on the seat of your pants, telling people that they're wrong and putting us back under the law. When you ain't quoting the words of the Most High, you're quoting yourself. Therefore, or there is one lawgiver and one judge, who is able to save and to destroy. Who are you to judge another? You can't judge anyone. The only judging that I can be involved with is when I repeat the words of the Most High that I read from his mouth, and it judges a situation. It tells me right from wrong. That's the only involvement I have in judgment. Come now, you who say, tomorrow or tomorrow, let us go to such and such a city, spend a year there and trade and make a profit. That's all y'all think about. Profit. When you do not know of tomorrow, for what is your life? For it is a vapor that appears for a little and then disappears. Instead of your saying, if the master desires, we shall live and do this or that. But now you boast in your proud speeches. All such boasting is wicked. To him, then, who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. You've been told what sin is, what the definition of sin is. When you don't do it, you're a sinner. When you don't follow the words of the Most High, you are a sinner. Now let's go get the rest of Ezekiel chapter 35, and let's see how this coincides with what we just read. If you're still here, if you haven't touched that dial, I'm not holding my breath. So who is Mount Seir? And you shall say to it, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, O Mount Seir, I am against you, and shall stretch out my hand against you, and shall make you a ruin and a waste. Your cities I destroy, and let you be a ruin, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Whoever Mount Seir, they're going to be a waste. There won't be nothing left. Because you have had continuous enmity, and handed the children of Yasharal over to the power of the sword. These are people, Mount Seir is someone who's been using the word of the Most High, and they've been killing people with it, slaughtering fatlings. And you handed them over to the power of the sword at the time of their calamity. At when? At the time of the crookedness of the end. That means right now, if you're doing it wrong, and you're doing it with the word, that's who it's talking about. Therefore, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I shall appoint for you blood, and let blood pursue you, since you did not hate blood. You like your steak medium or rare. You, according to the word, the Most High, who you claim to serve, you have to boil, sodden, or season it, or don't eat it. You can only roast it once a year in the city where he placed his name, Jerusalem. That's his word. And I shall make Mount Seir a ruin and a waste, and cut off from it the one who leaves and the one who returns, and shall fill its mountains with the slain. Mount Seir. It's mountains. We're no longer under the law. That's a mountain that Mount Seir has created. Those slain by the sword falling on your hills and in your valleys and in all your ravines. This isn't literal, folks. I shall make you an everlasting ruin and your cities uninhabited. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, because you have said, these two nations and these two lands are mine, and we shall possess them, although Yahuwah was there. Therefore, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I shall do according to your displeasure, and according to your envy, which you showed in your hatred against them. And I shall make myself known among them when I judge you. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. I have heard all your scorns, which you have spoken against the mountains of Yasharallah. Okay, the mountains of Yasharallah. If he doesn't include the word land, this is a parable. This is a metaphor. The mountains of Yasharallah of old that we used to feed on, that gave us life, where was you follow the Torah. You keep the feast. You don't do as the nations do and make the Most High jealous and ready to kill you. And when he said adulterers and adulteresses, he's not talking about you cheating on your husband, which that's not good either, or your wife. He's talking about you cheating on him with these other gods like Zeus, Santa Claus. I could go on and on. Ishtar. Well, it's Easter now. Yeah, okay. You're a friend of the world. You're an adulterer. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. I have heard all your scorns which you have spoken against the mountains of Yasharal, saying, they are laid waste. They were given to us for food. That was back then. And with your mouth you have boasted against me and increased your words against me. I myself have heard. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, as all the earth is rejoicing, I shall make you a ruin. So remember that next time you're in there clapping your hands and raising them to the sky and stomping your feet and getting drunk and slain in the spirit, what you like to call it. Just remember that while you're rejoicing, he's going to make you a ruin. As you rejoice because the inheritance of the house of Yasharallah was laid waste, so I do to you. Be a ruin, O Mount Seir, as well as all of Edom, all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Chapter 36, and you, son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Yasharallah, and you shall say, O mountains of Yasharallah, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, because the enemy, see how it's hand in hand with James 4? Because the enemy has said of you, aha, the heights of old, the mountains of Yasharallah have become our possession. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say, thus said the Master Yahuwah, because they laid you waste and swallowed you up on every side, so that you became the possession of the rest of the nations. And you are taken up by the lips of talkers and slandered by the people. You should never say the words under the law ever again. Therefore, O mountains of Yasharallah, hear the word of the Master Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the deserted ruins, and to the cities that have been forsaken, which became a prey and a mocking to the rest of the nations all around. They ain't been mocking literal land and mountains. Christians have been mocking people who want to keep and go back to what's right, who want to keep the instructions of the Most High. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, have I not spoken in my burning pleasure, my burning jealousy against the rest of the nations and against all Edom, who gave my land to themselves as a possession, with all joy of heart, with scorn in their being, to drive it out for a prey? Therefore prophesy concerning the land of Yasharallah, and you shall say to mountains, and to hills, to rivers, and to valleys. See, is he talking to real mountains? Is that what the Messiah meant when he said you can cast it if your faith was the size of a mustard seed into the sea? Is that what he was talking about? Thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I have spoken in my jealousy and my wrath, because you have borne the shame of the nations. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, I have lifted my hand in an oath that the nations that are around you shall bear their own shame. But you, all mountains of Yasharallah, put forth your branches. Does a mountain have branches? And bear your fruit to my people Yasharallah, for they are about to come. Come back to your word, back to your instructions, to the truth. For look, I am for you, and I shall turn to you, and you shall be tilled and sown. I shall increase men upon you, all the house of Yasharal, all of it, and the city shall be inhabited, and the ruins rebuilt. And I shall increase upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bear young. And I shall make you inhabited as of old, and do better for you than at your beginnings. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. And I shall let men, my people Yasharallah, walk upon you, and let them possess you. And you shall be their inheritance, and no longer let you add to their bereavement. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, because they say to you, you devour men and have bereaved your nation. Therefore you shall no longer devour men, and no longer bereave your nation, declares the Master Yahuwah. It shall not be a stumbling to you. And no longer shall I let you hear the insults of the nations, and the reproach of the peoples you shall bear no more, and no longer cause your nations to stumble, declares the Master Yahuwah. No longer will his true children debate with one another or with themselves. Should I be following the word of the Most High? Is it old? Is it not current? Is it out of date? Because Hail Zeus came and died, now I can wrap my hot dogs with bacon if I want. I can have Christmas trees in every room. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. No longer. Because his children will consult him. We will inquire of him through his word only. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We don't call the shots. We know that we don't. And the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, Son of man, when the house of Yasharallah dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own ways and deeds. To me, their way was like the uncleanness of a woman in her monthly period. Mental note for you. Put that in between your eyes. On your brain at all times. Next time you think about, it's not wrong if I do the holiday, if I celebrate Christmas, or I call him Lord. And next time you want to do that, just know that the way Abba sees that, it's like the uncleanness of a woman in her monthly period. You can play around if you want, but he ain't gonna. He's the Most High. So I poured out my wrath on them for the blood they had shed on the land, and for their idols they defiled it. And I scattered them among the nations, and they were dispersed throughout the lands. I have judged them according to their ways and their deeds. And when they came to the nations, wherever they went, they profaned my set-apart name, for it was said of them, these are the people of Yahuwah, and yet they have gone out of his hand. Because you claim to be children of the Most High, but anyone who around you that don't even care about none of it, but they got a brain, they can see you ain't about that life. You're carrying that Bible. You don't follow none of what it says. You take what you want out of context and you write on one or two verses. But you're scared to death to open it up and get that context, baby. Scared. You're terrified of it. But I had compassion on my set-apart name, which the house of Yasharallah had profaned among the nations wherever they went. Therefore say to the house of Yasharallah, thus said the Master Yahuwah, I do not do this for your sake, O house of Yasharallah, but for my set-apart name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations wherever you went. And I shall set apart my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. And rightfully so. He's give us everything that's right. He's give us every right ruling, every act of fairness and justice. He's the creator, the author of all of it. His name is great. It is to be praised and esteemed. It is to be revered and given the utmost respect. That's why you need to get that filthy name or names out your mouth. And I shall take from you among the nations, and I shall gather you out of all lands, and I shall bring you into your own land. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. And I shall sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. The truth will clean you from all your filthiness, and from all your idols I cleanse you. And if it ain't an idol to you, don't celebrate Easter this year. Take a year off. When the kids come and say, "Where's our Easter baskets, Ma?" Say, "We're not doing it this year, kids." Why? Well, because the Most High, who we claim to worship and serve and obey, says we shouldn't have anything to do with it. So we're just not doing it this year. You ain't gonna, are you? You couldn't dream of doing that. What would the neighbors think? See? What would Abba think is nowhere in your equation. You don't care what he thinks. That's why you're willing to let whatever you want come flying off your lips. That's why. And I shall give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. You say you're going to have that new heart and you think it's way off in the future. If you can't put down Easter for a year, you've got a heart of stone towards the Most High. If you have one of flesh, you will revere him and love him with all your strength and all your might to do what he says and to not do what he warns you to not do. And I shall take the heart of stone out of your flesh, and I shall give you a heart of flesh, and put my spirit within you, the spirit of truth. And I shall cause you to walk in my laws, see? And guard my right rulings, and shall do them. If you're doing them holidays, you ain't doing no right rulings, no instructions. And you shall dwell in the land that I give to your fathers. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. And you shall be my people, and I shall be your mighty Most High. And I shall save you from all your uncleanness, and I shall call for the grain and increase it. Here I am, Abba. And I shall bring no scarcity of food upon you, and I shall increase the fruit of your trees, and the increase of your fields, so that you never again bear the reproach of scarcity of food among the nations. All the words of his that you can handle. And you shall remember your evil ways and your deeds that were not good. None of it's good. You can't lay out all that is born, is spawned from the holidays, good or bad. You won't find any good. You'll find figments of your imagination and lies and pride and spoiled rottenness. That's it. And you shall loathe yourselves in your own eyes for your crookedness, for how you got it wrong, and your abominations, those Christmas trees, those Easter bunnies, and baskets and eggs. All that. Not for your sake am I acting, declares the Master Yahuwah. Let it be known to you. Be ashamed and blush for your ways, O house of Yasharallah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, on the day that I cleanse you from all your crookedness, I shall cause the cities to be inhabited, and the ruined places shall be rebuilt. And the land that was laid waste, tilled instead of being ruined before the eyes of all who pass by. And they shall say, this land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden. You remember how many times we've went over in Psalms and other places in his word, it says that the Garden of Eden shall be reckoned as a forest with fir trees and cedars. So it's been laid waste, has become like the Garden of Eden, become like a forest. That's how you know where the land is. And the wasted and deserted and the destroyed cities are now walled and inhabited. Then the nations which are left all around you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have rebuilt the destroyed places and planted what was laid waste. I, Yahuwah, have spoken it, and I shall do it. It doesn't matter whether you want it to be done. He's going to do it. He's doing it. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, once again I shall let the house of Yasharallah inquire of me to do for them. There you go. to do for them, to make them humble, to give them love, not gifts of Benjamins. That's not doing for them. I shall increase their men like a flock, as a set-apart flock, set apart as the flock at Jerusalem at her appointed times, not the holidays. So shall the wasted cities be filled with the flocks of men, and they shall know that I am Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator. And you shall know to get on your face and give all honor, all praise, all glory, and every bit of all esteem to Him, to no Zeus, no Easter Bunny, no Santa Claus, no none of it. And none of it goes to yourself. You'll know that it either goes to Him or your esteem should have went to Him. That choice is yours to make. You either get face down and give Him all esteem right now, when it counts, or wish you would have when it doesn't. Shalom, shalom. Till next time, ease out.